My dear brother, my dear sister, have you noticed how a funeral changes the air in a city? People drive slower, voices fall to a whisper. For a short while, the world remembers that life is fragile. Then the noise returns and we forget again. But maybe you haven't forgotten. Maybe you have felt a quiet tug, the sense that your own chapter is turning its final pages. It can be frightening, yet it can also be a mercy, because awareness is a gift that helps the heart prepare. Tonight, let us sit together calmly, kindly, and look for 7 gentle signs that a believer might be approaching the end of this worldly journey. These signs are not a verdict. They are lanterns on the road, reminders to turn back to Allah before the last breath leaves the lips. Sign 1, a sudden softness of heart. There are moments in life when something shifts deep inside your heart. You might not even notice it at first, but then suddenly things that never used to move you do. You hear the Quran being recited, and instead of just listening with your ears, you feel it land in your chest. A verse you've heard 100 times before now makes you pause, cry, reflect. You don't even know why, but your eyes fill with tears and your heart feels soft, almost broken, but in a good way. It might be something small, a baby's smile that reminds you of innocence, a calm breeze brushing your face that makes you think of Allah's mercy. Or maybe it's just the adhan, the call to prayer echoing in the distance, and for once you stop what you're doing and just listen, and it stirs something in you. You feel emotional, you feel grateful, you feel awake. That, my brother, my sister, that is not random, that is not weakness, that is not mood, that is rahmah, mercy, a gift from Allah. It means the heart is waking up. It means your soul is starting to remember what it was created for. Many people live their whole lives with hearts that are hard, untouched, distracted. Nothing affects them, nothing moves them. But if you find your heart softening, it means Allah is allowing you to feel what truly matters again. He is giving you a moment to return before the final return. It's like a gentle knock on the door of your soul. That softness, use it. Don't let it fade. Don't let the noise of the world cover it up again. When your heart feels this way, run toward Allah. Say astaghfirullah. Cry in sujood. Talk to Him, even if you don't know what to say. Just be real with Him. Sometimes these moments are rare. Sometimes they come before major changes in your life. And sometimes they come to prepare you for your final moments, your meeting with the one who gave you this heart in the first place. So don't ignore it. Don't waste it. When your heart starts to feel again, it's not weakness. It's a signal, a gentle, sacred reminder. You are still alive. Your heart is still beating. And your soul still has a chance. Sign 2, a powerful pull towards Salah. There comes a time in your life when something changes quietly but deeply. You used to struggle to wake up for Fajr. You would turn off the alarm, roll over, and tell yourself, just 5 more minutes. And most of the time, those 5 minutes turned into missing the prayer entirely. But then without anyone pushing you, without anyone reminding you, your heart starts to feel different. The alarm goes off, and this time you don't fight it, you rise. Your body may still feel sleepy, but something inside you is already awake. You walk to make wudu, and there's no laziness, just peace. It's like something invisible is pulling you to the prayer mat. Not out of guilt, not out of habit, but out of love, out of longing. This is not something you forced. This is Allah calling you back. This is Allah choosing you gently, quietly to stand before Him before the world wakes up. Fajr becomes your moment of peace, not your struggle. The sujood, placing your head on the ground, feels like coming home. You stay there longer than usual. You cry, or maybe you don't. But inside something feels calm, whole, honest. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, the closest a servant is to his Lord is in sujood. So when sujood starts to feel like safety instead of duty, like healing instead of routine, understand this, it is a gift. Not everyone gets it. Not everyone answers the call when it comes. But if you feel this pull towards Salah, especially when no one is watching, it means Allah wants you near. It means He is giving you a private moment with Him before He calls you to your final meeting. So take it seriously. If you're finding yourself drawn to Salah, if the prayer mat feels like comfort, if your day doesn't feel right without talking to Allah Haven, if it's just 2 minutes of whispering in sujood, then no, you are being guided. You are being prepared. And the one preparing you is the most merciful, who never turns away a heart that sincerely returns to Him. Sign 3, tiredness with empty talk. Sometimes you find yourself in the same places, around the same people, hearing the same kind of talk, but something feels different now. You're sitting among friends, they're laughing, talking, making jokes like always. But you don't feel like laughing, you try to smile, but it feels forced. Inside, you feel distant, like you've outgrown something you didn't even realize you were part of. They talk about people, gossip, drama, who's doing what, but your heart doesn't enjoy it anymore. It almost aches. The words feel heavy, tasteless. You sit there thinking, why are we even talking about this? What's the point? The jokes that once made you laugh now sound empty. The conversations that used to fill your time now feel like they're wasting it. This is not arrogance. This is not you becoming too good for others. This is your heart quietly whispering, you've changed and you're being called to deeper things now. Allah is softening you. You're beginning to care about what comes after this life. Your heart is no longer satisfied with small talk. It craves meaning. It wants to remember Allah. It wants to speak about things that matter, things that last, deeds, forgiveness, the day you return to Him. Jannah. These aren't just ideas anymore. They feel real to you now, important. So when you feel this shift, don't ignore it. Don't drown it in noise just to fit in again. Listen to it. Protect that feeling. Because that's how Allah pulls a person closer to Him gently, without force. You start to feel uncomfortable in places that used to feel fun. You begin to seek quieter moments. You want to be around people who remind you of the akhirah, not the dunya. And when you do speak, you find yourself wanting to say things that help, that heal, that matter. You'd rather be silent than say something that could harm someone. That is a sign of maturity, not just of the mind, but of the soul. When your heart no longer finds joy in useless words, it's a sign that Allah is polishing it, preparing it for something higher. Don't ignore that pull. Let your speech rise with your heart. Because the tongue is a reflection of what lives inside. And when the heart remembers Allah, the words naturally follow. Sign 4, an urgent need to seek forgiveness. There comes a point when your heart begins to feel heavy, not because of what others did to you, but because of what you may have done to others. You start to remember things you had buried deep, words you spoke in anger, a friend you hurt but never apologized to, a debt you never repaid, or a favor someone did for you that you never thanked them for. And now, these memories don't just pass through your mind, they linger. They knock gently but persistently, like they're asking you to do something before time runs out. This is not just guilt, it's not random. It's a sign, a gift, a whisper from Allah telling you to clean your record before it's sealed for good. You may find yourself suddenly wanting to send the message to someone you haven't spoken to in years. You might feel a strange discomfort every time you remember that unpaid loan, or how you never gave proper thanks to someone who helped you when you were struggling. That discomfort, that restlessness in your soul, it's mercy. It's Allah giving you the chance to make things right while you still can. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, whoever wrongs his brother, let him seek pardon from him today, before a day when there will be no dinar, no dirham. That means settle your debts now. Not just the financial ones, but also the emotional ones. Because on the day of judgment, we won't be paying each other back with money. We'll be paying with deeds, prayers, fasting, charity. All of it could be taken from you to pay for the harm you caused if you didn't make it right here. So when you feel the sudden urge to ask someone for forgiveness, don't ignore it. Don't tell yourself it's too late or too awkward. Allah's giving you a window to lighten your load. He's guiding your heart to peace before it faces Him. Even if the person never responds, even if they don't forgive you, what matters is that you tried, that you humbled yourself, that you cared enough to do your part. Because the day is coming when the book will be closed. And on that day, you'll be grateful you responded when your heart told you to make things right. So if you're remembering someone you hurt or something you left unsettled, don't delay. While today is still in your hands, use it. It might be your last chance to heal a wound before it testifies against you. Sign 5, rekindling broken family ties. Sometimes out of nowhere, you start thinking about someone from your family that you haven't spoken to in a long time. Maybe it was an argument that ended in silence. Maybe harsh words were said. Maybe you blocked them out of your life because it just felt easier. But now, their name suddenly brings a feeling you can't ignore. Not anger, not pride, but something softer, heavier. A sense that it's time to fix what was broken. You start remembering moments from the past. The times they were there for you. The laughter you once shared. The way your hearts were connected before things fell apart. And even if you try to push the thoughts away, they keep coming back. Every time you lie down to rest, the silence feels louder. It's not just regret. It's a pulla, quiet, sincere invitation from Allah to reconnect before time runs out. You notice it's no longer as hard to say I'm sorry as it used to be. Your pride doesn't argue as much. Your ego feels smaller. The peace you're seeking means more than the last word you spoke. This shift in your heart is not random. It's not weakness. It's a beautiful sign that Allah is softening your heart for a reason. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught us that family ties are sacred. He used the word Ar-Rahim, the Wumba name that shares the same root as Ar-Rahman, the most merciful. That alone tells us how much importance Allah places on maintaining family relationships. When you cut off a family member, you are cutting off a path to Allah's mercy. And when you reconnect even with a small message, a simple gesture, you are reconnecting to something greater than the person. You are reconnecting to rahmah, to divine mercy. Sometimes the person you need to reach out to is the one you least want to face. But the heaviness in your heart is a sign that Allah wants to heal you through that very act. He is giving you a chance to take a step toward peace in this world and peace in the next. So if your heart feels that urgency to fix something, to reach out, to rebuild what was once broken, then delay it. Don't wait for a perfect moment. Life moves fast, and sometimes the door of opportunity doesn't stay open forever. One message, one phone call, one honest apology can change everything. And maybe, just maybe, that one act of humility and courage will be the reason Allah looks at you with extra mercy on the day when you need it most. Sign 6, frequent encounters with death reminders. Lately, it feels as if death keeps walking beside you. One week, you are praying janazah behind someone much older, and you nod. That is the circle of life. The next week, you are standing over the grave of a classmate, a neighbor, someone who smiled at you just a few days ago. The gap between him and me suddenly looks thin, almost invisible. You scroll your phone and see post after post, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Your mind drifts to the faces of people you love and then quietly to your own face. You wonder, if I left today, what would I leave behind? The reminders do not stop at headlines. They visit your sleep. You dream of washing a body, or you see yourself lowered into the earth. Sometimes you wake up in the dark, heart racing, half ready to recite the Shahada. Other times, during a quiet drive, you catch yourself planning who should receive your books, who should care for your parents, how your debts will be paid. These thoughts are not morbid, they are mercy. Allah is tilting the mirror so you can see the reality.